am live. Hello, everybody. Trying out a new camera setup here so I can do some live streams more often, as we are trying to build our YouTube channel and starting a Patreon soon. So I need to be able to provide some content for both Patreon and YouTube. Today I'm going to be trying to work on a variant cover for Stellar Odyssey issue 3, which is currently on Kickstarter funding. Last I checked, we were at 76% funded, entering day 5. We only need 343, 353, something like that, dollars left to reach our funding goal. Then we can start looking at stretch goals. But so for this variant cover, I mean, I wrestled with ideas for what I really wanted to do. This is part 2 of a 3-issue story arc written by Brian Hawkins, illustrated. Interiors are illustrated by Elton Tomasi. This issue is subtitled The Swordsman and the Gunslinger. And Attila Banks, who is the gunslinger, has been on a couple of the covers already. He's had lots of artwork done for him, so I'm thinking I'm going to focus on this guy here, a knight of Bellaterra named Shay Oris, who is the swordsman in this issue. He's in one of our alien races. He doesn't have, his species doesn't have hair. They're a hairless species. Instead, they have like bone-like growths, where most people would have hair. So those are bone growths. They're not hair. Anyways, so I'm thinking I'm going to focus on him. I've tossed around a bunch of different ideas. I'm going to try this. If it don't work out, I'll just scrap it and go with something else. But so it's a new setup. Try not to bump my mic into my camera. Try not to bump the camera with my head. It's right in front of my face as I'm trying to draw, which I'm not used to. But so I'm gonna try to stay in lens here. So I'm thinking of just Dexter Wee did a really nice pinup of this character, and it's kind of a full body shot. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do a close-up of his face, and the Knights of Bellaterra use electro swords as their main weapons, or means of defense, however you want to look at it. But so our electro swords are similar in an idea of what lightsabers are to Star Wars, except for they actually have a physical blade made of steel or metal, some metals of some sort, and they are electrified. So they have electric currents generated from the hilt that run up through the blade, and provide like a extra kick to the sword. Let's see, and also kind of give them a light source, kind of make it a little more interesting than just your average sword. So I'm just kind of roughing in its face, where his head and face are going to be. Oh man, I'm not quite all the way up on camera there. There we go. Excuse me for a second while I switch up the music here. I'm gonna go with the, there we go. Anyone interested? There is an original soundtrack for the Stellar Odyssey #3 campaign available as an MP3 download, and you can hear some of the music that's going to be on that soundtrack playing in the background as I sketch this out. So, anyways, this guy, he does kind of wear a hood, and I was debating on whether or not I actually wanted his hood to be up over his head in this image, but then you wouldn't. I want to be able to get into some detail on his bone growths on his head. Gonna be some interesting shapes and line work, cast shadows and whatnot, so I'm just kind of sketch his hood in. He does have they have like a medallion or some sort that kind of ties their cape together on their above one of their shoulders there. So I'll try to do this. Oh, that light is too harsh for the focus on the camera. Let's see if I can. Excuse me while I play with my light source here for a second. I don't want it to wash out what I'm doing here. So, alright, so. They don't really, this species doesn't really have ears. They kind of, oh, this is the track that plays on the trailer for issue 3 trailer for the campaign. The song kind of got stuck in my head. So kind of these bone growths. They kind of come out almost like similar to how Wolverine's hair typically sits, but these are bone growths. Some of the inspiration for, I was trying to think of alien species and make a come up with a species for this guy. He is also, there's another character in this, in both issues 2 and, well actually I guess he was in issue 1, 2, and 3, but there's another member of this guy's species that's a bounty hunter in the current storyline. Goes by the name of Grim Ruckus, and initially I had just tried to come up with a unique shape for his helmet, which kind of went along with this shape here. So when I was trying to come up with this guy, I was like, well, what if they were the same species? Now, what would this guy look like without a helmet on? Like, well, what if Grim Ruckus's helmet is shaped like this because of the shape of his head? So that was the inspiration for the shape and the idea of giving them bone growths, having a bone growth on the a plate of bones growing out of their skull instead of hair. So yeah, I'm just trying to, let's go in here real quick, rough this in, and then I'll go in with some details now. Probably, let's see, he's gonna be holding a sword. I want the sword kind of close to his face, but not too close. And I want to keep eye movement and design layout design in mind. So I'll put his sword in. I don't want it too close to his face. So we'll go. Oh, I gotta get used to. Sorry, man. I apologize, people. I'm trying to get used to this. I'm trying to stay in frame while I'm doing this. And we'll say his sword will run up just about like there. Just kind of get rid of some of those. And this sword kind of has these electric currents that kind of wrap, kind of alternate the way they wrap around. Kind of almost have it like in two streams of current that kind of crisscross around the blade. Define those a little bit more once I get to the later stages. So alright, so that's that. So the main light source is gonna be coming off his sword. I'll kind of get some of his facial details in here, and then I'll work out the shadows. So he does kind of sorry, I'll make sure I'm in. And now I'm kind of covering up my reference for the character there. Alright. So kind of sketch in where his nose is gonna fall. Again, the character doesn't really have any facial hair. And sometimes I worry too much about symmetry on the face from side to side. And realistically, no one's faces are exactly the same on the left or right side of their. Idealistically, you would think things would line up the same, but no, they don't. So let me see, just kind of roughing in where this dude's facial features are gonna fall. Remember, I'll try to. Usually the inner part of your eye lines up with the outer edge of your nostrils. Just in like. But if you're trying to make characters look unique, you don't really want to follow the basic guidelines of where things fall. You change it up. So eyeballs are typically round, and then eyelids wrap around. I might probably want to change up his expression a little bit here when we get further into working out the details, but I'm just kind of, for now, just want to roughly lay out have this. I'll have give him a bit of a scowl as he is getting ready to face off against Tilla Banks. All right, so I kind of have. They have not typical ears, but they do have kind of like reptiles, where they got spots on their head where they have places to receive auditory cues and sounds around them. Typically, tops of the ears typically line up with the tops of your eyes, and then lobe typically lines up with the nose, but like I said, if you, especially if you want to give characters different and unique facial structures, you play with where things actually fall. So, and then he's got kind of some bone growth on his chin that almost looks like a goatee, but again, it's just bone. Okay. Some of these guides as I start to. Okay. Well, we're getting there. Alright, so I will focus on his face first. And this is going to be kind of challenge for me, as I've not really practiced doing like bony growth plates. So trick here to kind of make them resemble hair, but look rugged, like they're actually, they're bone. So, I don't get too much into the detail there before I just kind of get some basic shapes in there. So yeah, this video is not live. I'm pre-recording this since it is my first time trying out this new setup, but getting used to where my camera is and watching the monitor and making sure all my audio levels are proper. But this is the stuff like this I really like, 'cause it's not set. I mean, it's kind of random. A bone is organic, but this is very random as to how these bone growths kind of grow into place and fall on his head. So yep, the music stopped. Now let me find some more tracks. I'm using a royalty-free site that I've subscribed to, but I haven't really scoured it for a lot. So I was trying to keep with the Stellar Odyssey vibe there, but oh, see, can I put this playlist on? I wish I could just put it on repeat. Alright, well, let me pardon me while I... Where is, I'll try to remember the artist that here he is, okay. This is the artist I found and used his music for, the Dragonfly trailer. So I'm gonna switch things up. Get a little funky here. This guy's got some, nope, not that one. Here we go. As a matter of fact, this is the there's the Dragonfly trailer song. I am down with the funk. I'm all about that. All right. So, anyways, let's get back to so doing some random shapes here. Feel free, even though this video is not live, feel free to comment or ask questions, and when I get notified that somebody commented or interacted, I will still respond. Won't be live, but in the future I'll be doing these live. Once I get used to this setup and know that all my different levels, lighting, audible levels, all that stuff are proper, then I can start taking this live. So what I'll do, I like to get my stuff kind of roughed in, and then what I'll do is I'll take this drawing, once I get it pretty well sketched in roughly, I take this, I bring it to my light board, I put it on my light box, and I will light box over it, and then that way I can fix any areas that I want to fix or that need corrections. I can omit details, add details where I want, and get a nice clean finish to the final drawing, and then that way I'll tighten stuff up so when I go to ink it I don't have to do as much thinking with my inks. And I'm not the best inker. I'm learning, I'm practicing, I'm trying to get better, but I definitely enjoy inking, especially my own work. There are a lot of good inkers out there. I mean, a lot that just blow me out of the water, but those guys I can't afford at this point. We got so much content that we're trying to get done and out there, and I can't afford an inker, even though it would probably behoove me to be able to hire a really good inker. So, future, sure. I still would also like to be able to learn and get better at the craft of inking myself, just for my own personal growth. But so for now, that's the way it is. And but yeah, if anyone practicing inking, or any inkers out there that would by chance are interested in trying to ink over my pencil work, feel free to hit me up, and I don't mind at all. I would actually love seeing people that know what they're doing on an inking level, see what they can do with my pencils. Help me out, even if it's just practice or just for show, whatever, what have you. Alright, so I think so temple, or actually temple kind of comes. So like kind of stuff like that is stuff I fix when I go to Lightbox. Let's see where it is. But give myself a decent foundation of where everything's gonna go. Let's see. I'm not as quick as a lot of artists. As I get more comfortable and confident in where I'm at as a comic book artist, I'm sure, and just doing it, repetition of doing it over and over more often, I'll get quicker. But as of right now, so if this sketch seems to be taking too long for you, apologize. I'll be quicker in the future. I think his jaw kind of come out. Again, doesn't have to be exactly symmetrical on both sides, but again, that's something I fix. So this side of his face is gonna be lit from kind of under, coming up, like it'll be uplighting, but it'll be kind of at an angle. Let me get some kind of bony look to his facial growth here. Anybody that digs the background music by choice or by chance, this is artist named Elliot Holmes. Found him on Epidemic Sound. That's the royalty-free site that I subscribe to, so I can freely use background music on videos and trailers without having to get copyright strikes against me. I don't know. This beard, or this goatee thing that, oh, I hate when I break my lead. Didn't quite turn out as great as I'd like it to. That's another thing, I can work that out on the Lightbox as well. I don't know how well this camera will video record my light box. I might give it a shot and try to, maybe I can edit. So this side of his face is gonna catch light. Oh, let's see. Yeah, this is kind of, but on this side, I believe this is another area I need to really work on and study more. I did is where lighting and shadows fall, depending on where your light source is coming from. It's been a long time since I was taking basic drawing and whatever classes in college, so you know what they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I need to relearn some of this stuff. I think maybe there he is. His face is gonna, this side of his face will definitely be shadowed as it's away from the light source. His upper lip should catch the light, and then maybe this, I don't know, this side would probably catch a little bit of it, but and this side of his nose will definitely be shadowed. And the bridge of his nose will block some of the lighting, but as it bends around, it should catch some of this in here. This coming from this side should be shadowed. This side should be shadowed. A lot of this, especially the bone growth on this side, be heavily shadowed. Catch some light, probably skim across this little bit here, but then as it gets to the back, top of his head, it should be darker, and then this, my light source is coming this way, so underneath is going to be lit, and then the tops of each little bone plate will be shadowed, and then once we get up here to the upper part of the bone growth, it should be mostly, it should fall in some shadows. Oh, so again, I'm kind of off camera there, so I'm gonna do a little bit more here before I pause it and switch to the light board. Another thing I enjoy drawing but need more practice at it is electrical currents. And I'm off camera again. Sorry. Alright, so yeah. You pull it off just right, man. A little bit of electrical currents would be visually appealing and look really cool. Like I said, I need some practice. So now it's pretty angular, and Again, it's when I get into the inks, I can really work on the effect of making it look electrical. So I just kind of rough these electrical currents in here. So it's gonna be jagged and kind of I mean, it's whatever at this stage. It's kind of getting it roughed in. And the cool thing when I go to Lightbox is the way some of these lines and scribbles and stuff show up through my overlaying paper. Sometimes I just see stuff that I didn't see before that I can pick up on and really flesh it out more on the Lightbox. So, sword, I'm not really sure he has a I haven't really defined what his sword shape is, or the basic of his. So yeah, the Knights of Bellaterra, they can use different swords and blades of different sorts that are electrical. So like when I first designed my character Tasia Katu, who is a fallen Knight of Bellaterra turned bounty hunter. Initially I had her weapons of choice were sais. She had 2 sais, and both of the sais were lit up with electrical current. But then I just kind of opted to give her a couple short swords. Little tidbit on that character, Tasia Katu. When I first created her in the mid 90s, probably like 96, 97-ish, and initially she was like a superhero type of character, and her full name at that point was Fantasia with a PH. Yeah, I know, the PH. So didn't take long until I realized that was kind of cheesy. Shortened it to Tasia. And I think initially when she was Fantasia, her powers were just kind of like, not necessarily reality bending, but more like she could tap into people's psyche and make them visualize fears and different fears and desires that they have in their head. She could make them visualize it and make them think that it was real. But she wasn't really bending or altering reality, just the way they perceive reality. So that was kind of where the Fantasia name came, and then quickly shortened it to just Fantasia, or to Tasia, and then kind of her powers were kind of electrical. It was the same, almost the same concept as what the Knights of Bellaterra with their swords, except for she actually generated the electrical current herself. That was her part of her power set. She could create electrical currents, and she would use different objects that are capable of conducting electrical currents, as in like swords and metal objects and stuff like that. She was able to channel it through there and use those to focus her energy powers. And then she kind of, when I started getting out of superhero style stuff and getting more into just sci-fi, fantasy, and just other genres. She kind of sat on the shelf for a little while, and then in the like 2001, early 2000s, when Cowboy Bebop was on Adult Swim. I'm still heavily into Cowboy Bebop, but I got really into Cowboy Bebop and wanted to take some of the characters that I had created that were sitting on the shelf and redevelop them for more sci-fi fantasy type of characters, which eventually they after meeting up with Ray Merrick and we started creating comics together. We decided we wanted to create a sci-fi comic. He had an idea, which is the Knights of Bellaterra, and I had my characters, which I was developing for a book called Vagabond Blues. Both of those books are going to be coming. We are still going to launch those books, and they will be under the Stellar Odyssey umbrella. So what we're doing right now is a lot of those characters and ideas are debuting in the Stellar Odyssey main titles book, and then when we get to the point where we're ready to launch those series, we will. So keep watching us, keep following Stellar Odyssey if you're into sci-fi fantasy. It's kind of our love letter to sci-fi fantasy genre. For me, my stuff is heavily influenced by Star Wars and Cowboy Bebop. Probably Cowboy Bebop more so than Star Wars for me, but also I like stuff like Firefly and The Expanse and cool stuff like that. So I'm just about done with just this basic rough sketch as far as how much time I want to spend on this. I'm just about ready to put this on my light board and do some overdrawn. Yeah, so basically this is just my underdrawing for what will be the final artwork. I gotta get used to and remember to make sure I'm in frame when I'm drawing. What time is it? Oh wow, okay. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. Ray and I are going to be doing a live stream from the Unparalleled Facebook page tonight. I'm sure this video will not post before that, so I'm going to have to stop this video here and get ready for that stream. We have a production meeting for Unparalleled before we go on for the live stream, and I'm going to have to stop this video so I can get ready for that. But if you're just now watching this and you didn't see the live stream, you can go back to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel and catch the stream. We got a lot of stuff we got coming up for Unparalleled Comics, a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about, discussing, both for the Stellar Odyssey 3 Kickstarter campaign, and as well as Dragonfly. So Dragonfly #1 is now on Indiegogo as an in-demand, and there's a I don't really like the way that worked out there. There is a exclusive variant cover for Dragonfly that you can only get on the Indiegogo. There's a lot of stuff that Kickstarter backers had access to and are getting for rewards that are not available through Indiegogo. But for people that only use Indiegogo and really don't support Kickstarter for whatever reasons, we want to be able to offer them at least something exclusive. And then maybe if there are people out there that follow us and are just adamant about collecting every variant, or they're into getting a lot of the different stuff that we put out, they could also jump over to Indiegogo and grab that there. Or just for people that didn't have the funds to back the Kickstarter when it was live, they wanted to and they missed it, now's your chance to go over to Indiegogo and get your pre-order a copy of Dragonfly. It is in demand, so I assume it's going to be up there for a while. I'm not super familiar with Indiegogo and how it works and all that stuff, so we'll see. But it should be available for a while, so no matter when you see this video, it should be up there still. This is going to cast a heavy shadow from that sword. Okay, anyways, I gotta get going, and hope you enjoyed this trial video of mine. Let's try to show you all of this here. I'm gonna pause so I can get ready for our meeting. I will switch this over to my light box as my underdrawing and tighten up this drawing. Keep an eye out for the finished version. I'm going to do some tight pencils and I'll be inking it. I'll probably be video recording the whole process just so we start having more content that we can post and share, and hopefully if you enjoy watching this kind of stuff, you got a kick out of this video. Please like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're interested. If you watch YouTube, we're trying to build our channel. We're trying to be able to get to a point where we can provide more content. So, yeah, thanks for watching. If you did watch, stuck through the whole thing, yeah, and hope you enjoy the stuff we put out. Thank you.